everybody. Happy to have you with us on an early edition of College Football Live with Desmond Howard. I'm Wendy Nix, and we are making our way. Hard to believe, Des, it's almost week 6. And as we look ahead, let's start with some notable games this weekend. Another solid slate as we get ready for week 6. The top 5 matchup in the Big Ten for the first time since the 2015 Conference Championship game. The Hawkeyes will host the Nittany Lions, looking to keep their 11-game win streak alive. Alabama, meanwhile, traveling to College Station to take on the Aggies. The Crimson Tide have won 100 consecutive games against unranked opponents, and Saban is seeking his 25th straight win against his former assistants. Alabama still perfect on this season. Last but not least, the Red River Showdown is this week in Oklahoma. Oklahoma and Texas are ranked. It's the 42nd time these two teams will meet as ranked opponents, the second most such meetings by any two teams, by the way, in the AP poll era. Here's quarterback Casey Thompson on what's at stake.
What's at stake is obviously bragging rights and the right to say you won the Red River Shootout. But at the end of the day, it's another conference game, and you're going to have a win or a loss under your belt going into the next week of conference.
The atmosphere is going to be great. It's going to be something you ain't never experienced before, but you got to realize in these types of games, you got to stay focused, you got to stay locked in, because the smartest teams win these types of games.
Tom Luganville joining us now as well. And Luke, I'll ask you like this. What's the state of these two teams as they get set to face each other? Well, looks like we got some technical issues there. Again, Des, looking ahead to the Red River Showdown. I'm glad we don't say Red River Rivalry that much anymore. It was too hard to say. But Des, I'll ask you this then. What does Oklahoma need to clean up to be successful?
Hey, Wendy, I'm on board with you. I'm glad we don't say the Red River Rivalry anymore. Too quite the tongue twister, isn't it? I think that the Oklahoma Sooners clean up that area called the trenches, Offensively, they haven't been able to run the ball at a normal clip, the regular clip we're accustomed to seeing the Sooners run the ball. At the present time, they're averaging 30 yards less on the ground than they normally did a year ago. So now they have to be able to run the ball. And when you can run the ball and control the trenches, then it really helps your play calling. I think it makes things much easier for Lincoln Riley. So they have some horses. They got the linemen up front. I just don't think they've had time to gel thus far. But now, like you said, we're going into week 6. This is going to be a huge matchup against the Texas Longhorns. They're going to have to be able to establish dominance at the line of scrimmage, run the ball, and then that'll help them. But I think that's been the biggest issue. Spencer Rattler, as much heat as he's been getting, he's not playing horribly. He just hasn't been able to play up to the standard that we're used to seeing from an Oklahoma Sooner quarterback, especially when you keep in mind that Spencer came into the season as the favorite for the Heisman.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's almost you're a victim of your own success, right? That bar was pretty high, so to fall short of it isn't that difficult. I'm going to ask you about the best player on the field in just a minute, Des, because it won't be Spencer Rattler, with no disrespect. But before I do, because we talk so much coming into this season about Texas, about Sark, about the changes, are they on to something in Austin, Des?
I tell you what, Wendy, I really think they are. I mean, since they got manhandled by Arkansas earlier in the season, obviously Sark made a switch at the quarterback position, started Casey Thompson, and the offense has just been really clicking since Thompson has taken over at the quarterback position. But the key to this offense is Bijan Robinson. I mean, when they take the field Saturday afternoon, Bijan Robinson will be the best player on the football field. I mean, it's no doubt about that. He's a running back that can go the distance anytime he touches the ball. He's very elusive, great out in space, and then Sark is such a creative play caller. Sark will also line him up out there and wide to put him in the slot, and they'll throw the ball to him too. Tough, great vision, excellent lateral movement, and fantastic speed. When they play the Oklahoma Sooners, he will be the best player on the field. Make sure you guys keep an eye on Bijan Robinson.
Well, we should expect a close one in the Red River Showdown, by the way, since their last 7 regular season meetings have been one possession games. So, again, Des, it should be a good one. It should be a tight one as we look ahead to the weekend. All right, let's talk about another big game in the Big Ten. Penn State looked for its 3rd win against a ranked team under James Franklin when the Nittany Lions traveled to Iowa City. Iowa continues to roll, by the way, with a defense that has produced 16 turnovers with a +12 turnover ratio. This game, by the way, likely to come down to turnovers as well.
Turnovers equate to winning as much as anything. Turnovers and explosive plays, and when you can do that, you're gonna help your team play, and you're gonna put yourself in a position to play the game for a long time. So, I think everybody knows that's the storyline of this game, right? That's they're doing a lot of things well. That's the thing that they're doing right now that makes them special, and it impacts their entire team.
Des, I tell you what, there's a lot of teams and a lot of defenses we talk about, but is it possible to give this Iowa defense too much credit at this point? I don't think it is, Des.
I agree with you, Wendy. I don't think it's possible because I tell you what, I played a lot of football, and at every level, high school, college, pro, the head coach will always tell you the 2 ways that you can beat yourself is being heavily penalized and turning the ball over. And I tell you, this Iowa defense is doing a magnificent job at takeaways. I mean, leading the nation right now with 16 takeaways as we go into week 6, 12 interceptions and 4 fumbles recovered. I mean, this is unbelievable what they're doing defensively. This is a group of ball hawks in the secondary, and they're playing at a very, very high level right now, and that's been the difference, and that's what's keeping James Franklin up at night too. When you watch that defense and the way they create takeaways, it's enough to give a man gray hair.
I would think so. Plus 11 in the turnover differential. Well, neither of these teams has fared particularly well in AP top 5 games, both looking for their first win in a top 5 matchup this century. Yes, Penn State has been outscored by 100 points in AP top 5 matchups, which is the worst all time. Meanwhile, make sure you head to @ESPN CFB on social to vote for your favorite town in the Football Town Showdown presented by Shell. Don't look now, but Jim Harbaugh has his team at a perfect 5-0. Des, listen, Michigan is for real. I know you like it. We're going to tell you what's made the difference this year. And plus, once again, the Red River Showdown has had no shortage of great games. Coming up later in the show, we count down the top 10 moments in the past 3 decades. This one hopefully won't disappoint. It's the best of the rivalry on deck.
College Football Live is presented by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Life is busy, so come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. First, fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new.
Nice.
Then save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again.
Oh, wow.
And finally, snack up to save even more at the pump.
That's great.
Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell.
Wait, there's 3 of me? Awesome.
America! After the past year-ish, everyone deserves something new. So, AT&T is giving everyone our best deals on every iPhone, including the iPhone 13 Pro with its amazing camera. Like everyone that worked from home, learned a new hobby, or welcomed a new family member.
They were all out of dogs, so...
Our deals are for everyone.
It's not complicated. AT&T is giving new and existing customers our best deals on every iPhone, including the epic iPhone 13 Pro on us.
On a joyous Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
By the power vested in me by the city of Fansville, I now pronounce you fan and wife.
Natalie drops back into the pocket. It's a three-step drop. Trisha's wide open. Here comes the throw. Oh, Becky with the pick. Holy mackerel. When you take a look at it, see that full extension by Becky? Let's go back to the action. Oh! At this point, it's anyone's bouquet. Up next, the garter toss.
Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
Okay, I'm up. 5 more minutes.
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
You know, if we take that wrapper back to the store, it can be recycled into other stuff.
Well, I want my wrapper to be a hang glider!
How about a park bench?
Dad, you need to think bigger.
Recycle your specially marked Crunchy Bar wrappers in store now.
I wonder how the firm's doing without its fearless leader. You sure you want to leave that all behind?
Stay restless with the RX, crafted by Lexus. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
My auntie called me. She said, Uncle's had a heart attack. I needed him to be here.
Your heart isn't just yours. Protect it with Bayer Aspirin. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Hey there, you getting some gas?
Just using your squeegee.
Well, no gas, no squeegee.
No gas, no squeegee? Now free squeegee?
Now free squeegee.
Evolve your journey in the first ever Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EV.
As a DJ, I know all about customization. That's why I love Liberty Mutual. They customize my car insurance, so I only pay for what I need.
How about a throwback?
You got it.
I'll settle for something I can dance to.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Introducing the All-Pro Passer Robotic Quarterback. Go short, go long. No matter where you go, it's always the perfect throw. Just pump, press, and pass. The All-Pro Passer throws a perfect spiral every time. We program the skill, timing, and accuracy of a pro QB into a football passing robot. Play 1-on-1, 3-on-3, or with as many as you want. You can even practice catching on your own. Select your play. Press hike, slam, post, short, long. All-Pro Passer has 9 different passing zones so you can run hundreds of plays. And it can launch the ball over 25 yards. It's perfect for any park or backyard. Just pump, press, and pass. You can get your All-Pro Passer for $49.99 plus $8.99 processing and handling. It comes with the TV bonus sticker sheet. Batteries not included. Must be 18 or older to order. The All-Pro Passer Robotic Quarterback. Only from NSI.
Here's this week's Saturday Night Football game presented by Capital One. Jim Harbaugh and number 9 Michigan in Lincoln to take on the Cornhuskers. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. That's on ABC and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. Well, win in Rome with Michigan winning 20-10 heading into the fourth quarter against Wisconsin on Saturday. The team decided to lean into a home crowd tradition. When the song Jump Around came on to start the fourth quarter, Des, you know what they did? I'm not going to do it, but they did. They jumped around, quite literally. Clearly a loose and relaxed team. Here's Jim Harbaugh on the state of his team.
No, I mean, I have noticed it, for a long time now, going back to, the winter conditioning cycle and spring ball. I mean, you can just, I can see it in their eyes. They're having fun playing football. And we played that song quite a bit during the week, as crowd noise, etc. And I think they just made it theirs in that moment.
You know what? Why not, Des? Make it yours. Listen, speaking of making it yours, Michigan is doing exactly that. And we're not that long removed from talking about should Harbaugh stay, should Harbaugh go, what's going to happen. And now this team is sitting at 5-0. What's been the difference this time around?
I tell you what, Wendy, one thing that jumps out at me is when I look at this defense, they look completely different than they did a year ago. Obviously, they brought in the new defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald. He came over from the Baltimore Ravens, and he instilled a whole different philosophy defensively. And they got 3 guys on each level that are difference makers. You start at defensive end, Aiden Hutchinson. He's a first rounder. And then defensive back, Dax Hill, he's another first rounder, but the guy in the middle that makes it all work is Josh Ross, and they missed him 2 weeks ago when they were playing against Rutgers, and he was out with an injury, and they were like just hanging on by the edge of their seats to win that game. So I think the difference is a new philosophy, and you have 3 guys at each level, Hutchinson, Ross, and Hill, who are all playmakers.
And Des, you know this. I mean, talent trumps everything, but when you start buying in and you get a little momentum, it can take you a long way, and you just get the sense that they have bought in completely in Ann Arbor. It's been good for college football to see them be successful. We do have some other news from around the country, and that regarding LSU corner Derek Stingley Jr. He had a procedure done on his left foot. Now, he's a junior corner. Remember, he injured this foot in the summer, but he did come back to play the first 3 games of the season and unfortunately re-injured his foot and has missed the last 2 games. Just for some perspective, Derek Stingley Jr. ranked 3rd on Mel Kiper Jr.'s latest 2022 Big Board, released about a week ago. Stingley had 6 interceptions in his career, and all 6 came his freshman year in 2019. All right, Daz, we're going to do a little 4 downs, okay? We'll stay right here with LSU for the first down. And let me ask you this, is Coach O on the hot seat?
I tell you what, Wendy, it's getting warm now. If they lose to Kentucky, then things down in Baton Rouge is going to take a turn for the worse for Coach O. You know, you look at the talent that they had a couple of years ago, and you say, okay, they won the national championship. They made some coaching changes as far as the coordinators are concerned. Bo Pelini is no longer there. They've got a new OC. But don't forget, they still recruit at a high level. So at the very least, there are some teams that you should just be able to beat because of the athleticism that you have as far as your personnel is concerned. And if they lose this week against Kentucky, yeah, things may get ugly. He will definitely be on the hot seat, Wendy.
Yeah, you know what? They won't be thinking about that national championship just a few seasons ago, will they? It's what have you done for me lately? We know that. Second down, Des, who bounces back better, Ole Miss or Arkansas?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's really hard because, you know, I was at the Arkansas-Georgia game, and that game wasn't even competitive. Georgia jumped on them really fast and stayed on top of them. But Ole Miss, when you play Alabama, I mean, obviously that game got ugly too. This hangover the next week that affects your performance. So I'm thinking Ole Miss, after playing Alabama, being beat the way they did, not just mentally, but physically too, there still may be a lingering hangover from that game that took place in Tuscaloosa. So I will watch Ole Miss. Man, Lane Kiffin's going to have to do a heck of a job to get his guys ready for this game Saturday.
You got to have a short memory. That's the way it works. All right, take a look at these 2 resumes, okay? I'm not going to tell you who's who. The blind resume for these 2 defenses. I know everybody's, again, by the way, both of them pretty good, as you can see. Look at that plus 11 turnover differential, though, for Team A, plus 2 for Team B. All right, Des, I don't know if you know, do you know who's who here? You got any guesses?
I really don't. But if I had to guess, I'm assuming that Iowa's on the left with the plus 11 turnover margin. I would say that's Iowa.
Wow, nice. Yep. And Georgia. And listen, I show you this. Good work, by the way. I show you this because we've spent so much time talking about that Georgia defense, and rightly so. But how about Iowa, Des? Who's better? Who's got the better defense, Iowa or Georgia?
Wendy, I tell you one thing, you know, to have a defense that registers a bunch of 3 and outs, that's great. It's fantastic. Everyone in college football right now, they're talking about the Georgia defense as if they're like the '85 Bears, okay? But One thing that I know that's very demoralizing to an offense and to a team in general is when you turn the ball over. And when you play against a defense that consistently creates takeaways, that's so demoralizing, because not only did it stop the drive, but it also gives their offense the ball immediately. So there's no punt involved. They're winning the battle of field position. So I tell you what, a lot of people giving a lot of credit to Georgia's defense, and they deserve it. But you may want to keep an eye on this Iowa defense, because they're registering takeaways at an incredible clip right now.
No kidding. Man, that's the way to win a ball game. All right, 4th down. Did we think too highly of Notre Dame?
We always think too highly of Notre Dame. That's just it comes along with the brand. And, it started the season off, and by week 2, they were on their 3rd left tackle. So they sustained a lot of injuries. And this is a team that they were surviving as opposed to beating teams. They were surviving and winning as opposed to beating teams. And it finally caught up with them against Cincinnati. So, they got to get the quarterback situation straightened out, but I think we probably thought a little too highly of Notre Dame coming to the season.
I don't know if we can trust you on that one, Des, but since I happen to agree, I'm going to say okay. All right, fair enough. Listen, we are just a few days away now from the Red River Showdown, as we call it now. What a great 30-year rivalry this has been, and there's been some spectacular moments. We'll show you the top 10 plays these two teams have delivered coming up.
You are watching College Football Live, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Morning already? Taco Bell's toasted breakfast burritos will get you out of bed. With fluffy eggs, crispy bacon, and a melted 3-cheese blend, all toasted to morning perfection. You're not dreaming. They're real. Only at Taco Bell.
Okay, I'm up. 5 more minutes.
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Incomparable design makes it beautiful. State-of-the-art technology makes it brilliant. The Lexus NX. Experience the crossover in its most visionary form. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
America! After the past year-ish, everyone deserves something new. So, AT&T is giving everyone our best deals on every iPhone, including the iPhone 13 Pro with its amazing camera. Like everyone that worked from home, learned a new hobby, or welcomed a new family member.
They were all out of dogs, so...
Our deals are for everyone.
It's not complicated. AT&T is giving new and existing customers our best deals on every iPhone, including the epic iPhone 13 Pro on us.
If we take that wrapper back to the store, it can be recycled into other stuff.
Well, I want my wrapper to be a hang glider!
How about a park bench?
Dad, you need to think bigger.
Recycle your specially marked Crunchy Bar wrappers in-store now.
Welcome to Allstate, where we have all new lower auto rates. And savings like that will make everyone feel like an MVP. Now get new lower auto rates with Allstate. Because better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click or call for a lower auto rate today.
We were alone when my husband had the heart attack. He's the most important thing in my life. I'm so lucky to get him back.
Your heart isn't just yours. Protect it with Bayer Aspirin. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Reggie Bush used to eat breakfast somewhere else. Then he tried Wendy's breakfast. Now we can't get rid of him.
Can you believe this breakfast croissant is only $1.99?
Yeah, Reggie. I put the sign up.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
At Finger Hut, we don't define you by your credit score, so we offer low monthly payments on things you need and brands you trust as you build your credit history with a Finger Hut credit account. You do you at fingerhut.com.
Finger Hut credit accounts are issued by WebBank, member FDIC.
in general don't get along very well. A lot of internal hatred.
It's just different.
The crimson and cream on one side and the burnt orange on the other.
Are the Ravens ready to keep rolling? As Lamar continues to soar.
I like how we can score every time.
Are Wentz and the Colts ready to join the chase? The early season excuses are ready to end. And the mid-season pressure is ready to begin.
This Monday night, we built for this. We made for this.
Are you ready?
All right, the top 10 plays from the Red River Showdown. Adrian Peterson, remember him, Daz? There's that red hat. That worked out. The Longhorns get
Adrian Peterson was a monster. Yeah, it worked out real good for him.
It worked out real well. You know, this guy's doing all right at the next level. That's Baker Mayfield. Had to overcome the Texas rally, a 78-yard touchdown drive. That ended up being the game. Oh, remember that? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yep.
Oh,
man,
yeah, exactly.
Kick them off.
Ma'am.
All right, number 8.
How about this guy? He's having a good NFL season, too.
The 2018. I know. Here's the Big 12 championship game for the first time. They met twice in a season. I'm surprised that one didn't get testier than it did, you know, these two. All right, number 7. How about when Texas snapped a 5-game losing streak against Oklahoma? Now, this, by the way, en route to winning their first national title in 35 years. That was a big one. The final score 45-12. Number 6, I continue to marvel at how many great players have come through here. Ricky Williams wears Doak Walker's number following his death in the house that Doak built. Really prophetic, and he rushed for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Sooners won that one. Number 5, Cameron Dicker, the kicker, etches his name into Red River lore. How about that? 9 seconds to go, Des, a 40-yard field goal. That's one he'll remember, to say the least.
Incredible. I wouldn't be surprised when this game comes down to a field goal.
All right, we're going to talk about that. 4 overtimes, and number 4, the highest scoring Red River meeting. I have to say it slow. Red River meeting ever. Texas trailed by 14, and they went back and forth. It was nuts. How about top 3? Top 2 Heisman finishers duel in this one. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Again, I talk about the players. Remember Colt?
Exactly. Yep.
I'm just going to call this Superman. Okay, Oklahoma safety Roy Williams took it into his own hands, jumped over the offensive line. I mean, that's what you call 1-2, right? Desmond, he just wanted it more on that one. Yep.
100%. Yep. You're right.
The stone cold stop right here. Texas beating Oklahoma. This is 1994, 17-10, and they just. I mean, think about all those players that have. I mean, it is one after another of Heisman winners and guys who've gone on to succeed at the next level, which is just one of the many reasons. Plus, it's Texas, it's Oklahoma, it's all the things that make football great. Des, so we look forward to this one every year. But you talked about the turnovers. When you look at the X's and O's in this game, what will make the difference maybe outside of that?
Well, I tell you what, outside of that, you know, this game may come down to special teams. That's something that no one's talking about, right? We talk about the offense. We talk about Spencer Rattler. We talk about Casey Thompson, Bijan Robinson. The defense is what they need to do in the trenches. This game may come down to a special teams play, and not just a field goal. It may be a kickoff or a punt return for a touchdown. A big play in the special teams can really determine who's going to win the Red River Shootout.
Yeah, showdown, shootout. It's impossible. Des, listen, week 6, and I really honestly, I said this at week 4. It does feel like a pivotal moment, but week 6, moving us toward the halfway point. Is there a game out there that we may not be paying attention to right now that could be a big difference maker? Anybody that you can think of?
A game that I tell you what, I think a very interesting game is Notre Dame. Notre Dame against Virginia Tech is a very interesting game, especially Notre Dame coming off of a big loss against Cincinnati, going to Blacksburg, which is a very, very difficult place to play. Keep an eye on Notre Dame versus Va Tech.
That's right, Cincy getting the big win. We talked a lot about Cincy, about BYU. What a wild season it's